Oh, that solo kind of just ripping it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another music reaction slash breakdown, and welcome back to another week of EXO Spotlights. This week we're going to be checking out Suho, and we're going to be checking out his song "Who Are You." I think this was released pretty recently. Looks like it's maybe about 8 months ago. I think from what you guys said in the comments in like my previous videos, I think Suho is the leader of EXO, if I'm correct, but remind me one more time in the comments again. But yeah, really interested to kind of see what his style is like. Again, I've really been enjoying kind of seeing how versatile each member is within this group EXO overall. So yeah, really excited to just hop into it. Go ahead and sit back, relax, and let's ride the wave. Ooh, interesting intro. Yeah. Great intro to the song. Oh, that solo kind of just ripping it. Wow. Wow, I love how open this is. Nice kind of vocal riff right there. Yeah. Oh, we got kind of like a pretty long verse here. Nice. Awesome. Let's stop it there real quick. So many great things to talk about here. I think first off, kind of let's start from the beginning. Just the very first part, how they introduced kind of like the music video. I really loved how they kind of had like Suho kind of brought in as like almost like he's kind of practicing or like kind of tuning up. Like if you imagine how like tech rehearsals are or like concert rehearsals are, and there's like obviously like no one in like the audience yet. It's kind of like the pre-work before the major shows and stuff. You'll typically kind of like hear a live artist, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then count themselves in and just kind of do their own thing. I love how they kind of included that in this video because it makes it feel a lot more, I guess you could say, like personal in a sense, or definitely gives them more of like almost like a live feel. So really cool how they incorporated that. In terms of the guitars playing and stuff, very cool panning in the different electric guitar parts. So you have that really like chunky kind of like rhythm guitar going in the back. That could be like a rhythm guitar or just like a straight up bassist already, although I don't think it's really like a bassist. I think it's more of like a rhythm electric guitar. But you have that chunky kind of like eighth note kind of groove just holding the bass line, the groove in the back. And then you have almost kind of like two different guitar parts that are doing like their own solos, being panned left and right, or in the left stereo or right stereo mix. And that's like a really cool trade-off to kind of listen to in the sonic experience. Definitely a very like classic rock, alternative kind of rock genre inspirations here. Love that kind of whole style and feel that he's going for in this track. And his voice just on top of this is just so great too. Like his choices here, the way he's kind of doing his vocals is like very, I would say like almost like casual and sort of conversational, but not in like the poetic sense, but just very like him just telling his feelings. And it's almost kind of, I don't want to say like playful, but it's almost like there's like a certain attitude that he's kind of throwing in the way he's delivering his vocal lines too, and that kind of goes along with like the lyrics that he's like singing too. I think this is like a breakup song, just from the things I was reading in like the subtitles. but very, very interesting way to kind of portray a breakup here. Normally, when you hear like a breakup song or think of like a breakup song, it's usually very sad and ballad like, and like that's just very common in that kind of style of music. But this is just like a really interesting interpretation of like what how a breakup could feel, right? Here it seems like he's very, very like open and like feels more like free, and it's like coming from the soul, right? It's almost as if he knew like this end of the relationship was coming, and it's like finally setting himself free from whatever this situation was, right? And it's just very, very well portrayed in like how the atmosphere sounds in the music, but as well as in the video, where it's a lot of like fast shots of him doing life with the people around him, or him taking his own walks in, a lot of like light color schemes overall in like the different scenes and views. So really, really cool stuff. Nice. Yeah, even the body language is very, very like casual. Oh, nice, interesting musical structure here. Nice. Before we get into the second verse, I assume that he's going to go into right now. Interesting kind of way they wrote or tackled this chorus. Usually the chorus is the vocal for about the same amount of length as what we just saw. So you usually hear like a catchy vocal line and like a hook going on for 4 8 counts or something. But here they had his like vocal like hook in a pretty short time frame. It was like half that time frame. I want to say it was like two 8 counts instead of 4 8 counts. And then the second half of the chorus was just the repeated intro. So they put the intro back in the chorus in this first like drop or section. And that's just really interesting that they chose to do that. You don't normally hear that happen a lot in a lot of songs, where they kind of just take the intro and just slap it on as like the second half of the chorus or drop to lead into the next verse. But it happened here, and I do find that it happens quite a few times in this style or genre of music too. So really refreshing to kind of hear that. Just something that I noticed right off the bat. Nice. Yeah, I love how freeing this feels despite what he's singing. It's like coming straight from the soul. Yeah, we got that groove in the back. I love that. Great falsettos here. Oh man. Yeah. This whole part right here, we're almost done with the song, but just something I want to talk about here. So this second drop, so what I was talking about in the first chorus, how they kind of halved the vocal hook and then added the intro part as like the second half of the chorus. Here they did it traditionally, where you traditionally hear the chorus hook play out for the entire chorus, but they still added that electric guitar layer under, as if they just copy and pasted the intro electric guitar section under his vocal hook. So now it feels like more atmospheric and more like full and complete, and it's not like leading into anything here. So great structure and arrangement choices here. Yeah, again, they're doing, for that rhythm guitar kind of bass line groove going in the back, similar playing technique in terms of muting the guitar strings with like the palm while they're kind of like strumming or plucking. I mentioned this technique in a previous reaction of mine in Chanyeol's, I think it was his Upside Down video. So if you want to check that video out and reaction to that, go ahead and click the link up here. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, again, I can't get over how freeing and like how this feels like it's just coming from the soul, and like just puts a smile on my face. This, even though this is like a technically a breakup kind of song based off the lyrics, it's just like a whole different take, and like there's so much like good vibes and like good feels and stuff here too. So yeah, let's just finish off the song. Great falsettos here too. That's a little scary. Nice. Man, great stuff. I think what I like so much about like EXO members, and I'm sure it's the same, or not exactly the same, but I'm sure it happens with a lot of other like K-pop groups or members in general for other like artists and stuff. But I just love how versatile like these artists are, and like how they're not afraid to explore different elements from different genres or different cultures, or just like try something new in their own music. I know that with them being an EXO, they're usually restricted to what, you know, the company wants them to do based off of like contracts or what they're promoting, right? But it's really, again, just a treat seeing and exploring the kind of music that each member wants to do. And I just really didn't expect both actually Chanyeol and Suho to explore, you know, kind of like these more rock, alternative, like punk rock inspired like elements in their music, and that's just like so refreshing to hear and see coming from like a member of like a group like EXO. So really enjoyed that. That was just, again, it was such like, it put such a big smile on my face, and I'm sure you guys probably saw it throughout the video too, but it was just so like the feeling the video and the song was giving, it was just very, you know, everything's gonna be okay kind of vibes, you know, like regardless of, you know, the struggles that might be happening, in this case like a breakup, you know, there's like a flip side to everything, grass is greener on the other side. You know, what's the other saying or something like that? Glass is either half full or half empty, depends on how you perceive things. So yeah, it's such a great video to kind of watch. And I wonder if he also kind of dives into a lot of like this rock kind of genres and stuff, or if this is kind of like his first like exploration into that kind of, you know, genre or style, and he does more of like a different style. Because I think from what I remember, Suho is really proficient in ballads too, if I'm correct. So I would be really interested to kind of check that out too. So maybe that'll happen in the next song I check out from him. So yeah, that'll be it for my reaction to this video. So if you guys enjoyed the breakdown and reaction, consider joining the wave by liking the video, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. All the support really does mean the world to me as a small creator. So with that said, until next time guys, talk to you soon. Peace.